Hello everybody, it's Maikito. When it comes to last video and I talked about the giveaways, two out of the three winners responded and I sent them um, the membership fee or whatever. But one of them has not responded, and if he does not respond after this video or like before the next video comes out, I'll just randomly pick somebody else and somebody else will be picked. So that's that when it comes to those. I didn't make a video for today's slate or last slate because there's only a couple games. There weren't any good games. There wasn't much that I liked. But there's a lot of Champions League games tomorrow. There's a lot of games to go through, and I found picks that I like. So I'll just get straight into those. And the first one is Dennis Undav to go higher than 3.5 shots playing at home for Stuttgart, going up against Prague. He's gone over in 3 out of 5 games this season. The only games where he's gone under, he had 2 when he got subbed out 65 minutes in away to Freiburg. And that game, Stuttgart just played bad in general. And he went under with 3 away to Madrid, which was a really tough defense. So I don't blame him for that. But he went over with 7 at home to Mainz, over with 6 away to Gladbach, and over with 7 at home to Dortmund. He averaged 4.59 shots per 90 last season. So he's a shooter. He will shoot the ball. And he goes from 2.9 away last season up to 4.3 shots at home. So he takes much more shots at home, and he's willing to take those shots. He's gone way over in both home games with 7, even against Dortmund. So I don't see why he can't do it against Slavia Prague. He takes long shots. He's a good dribbler. He's good at holding the ball. It's hard to take the ball away from him. 31 out of his 107 shots were from outside the box last season, and 8 out of 23 this season so far. So about 33% of his shots are from outside the box, which is pretty good. 68 were with his right last season, 20 headers and 19 left. So he's going to take the shots with wherever he's given the opportunity from. And Stuttgart lost their first game in the Champions League while Slavia Prague won their first game. So Stuttgart's going to be more aggressive while Prague is going to be more defensive in general, just to try to hold off and get Stuttgart at least to a point. This is normally where his line's at, and I think it's a good mark to take, especially against Prague. So like Dennis Undav to go higher than 3.5 shots. My next prop is Raphinha to go higher than 3 shots playing at home for Barcelona, going up against Young Boys. He's had 3 plus in 5 out of the 8 games so far, and he's played 3 at home, and he's gone over in all 3 games. And Young Boys just allowed 20 shots in 0-3 loss to Aston Villa, and Aston Villa played away and still destroyed Young Boys, while Barca lost their first game away from home to Monaco. So just like the Stuttgart game, Barca's going to be aggressive, while Young Boy is going to be defensive. He takes a lot of long shots. He's a really great dribbler, and he also takes Barca's set pieces and free kicks, so he can get shots from there as well. And this has been his, I'm not going to say revelation, more like he's really proven and shown why he plays at Barca and got that move, because he's been injured a lot. He hasn't got many opportunities, but now that he's been starting this season, he's been doing really good. He averaged 3.88 shots per 90 last season in the league, and when he played in the Champions League, it actually went up to 4.57 shots. So he actually took more in the Champions League. And again, like Undav, this is where his normal line is at, and I don't see why he can't go over against Young Boys, a much weaker team. They need to win. He's going to need to be aggressive. So I like Raphinha to go higher than 3 shots. My next prop is Rafael Leao to go higher than 1.5 shots playing away from home for AC Milan, going up against Leverkusen. He's gone over in 4 out of 6 games so far this season, and he went under against with a tough Liverpool defense, so I don't blame him there. And he went under against Venezia. He only had 1 shot, but AC Milan were up 4-0 up within like the first 20 to 30 minutes, so there was no reason for him to be aggressive. But in this game, he's going to need to be. It's going to be a back and forth game in my opinion. And Leverkusen are good in the attack, but they're not good in defense, or they're not a great team when it comes to defense. They allowed 3 goals to Wolfsburg, who played away. They allowed 3 goals to Leipzig, who played away. And then Bayern, although they only scored 1 goal, dominated that game and took 18 shots. So Leverkusen, like I said, it's good in the attack, but they're not good in defense. And their biggest weakness is the wings, especially on his Leao side, because he's going to have Frimpong on his side, and Frimpong overlaps and helps in the attack and plays much more up high, so there's going to be a lot of space for him to exploit and for him to try to take those shots. He's just going to have a lot of space there. Last season, Leao averaged 2.5 shots per 90 in the league and 2.23 in the Champions League. He plays on the right, or he plays on the left, cuts in on his right, and shoots. So you guys know I like to take those players because it doesn't take that much base. He's very quick, he's a great dribbler, and he takes a lot of long shots as well. And I think 1.5 is too low considering the fact that they lost the first game as well, and Leverkusen allow a lot of shots and aren't that great defensively. So like Raphael Leao to go higher than 1.5 shots. My next prop is Jan Sommer to go lower than 0.5 goals allowed, playing at home for Inter Milan, going up against Red Star Belgrade. He's gone over in 2 out of 3 home games, as in they haven't conceded in 2 out of the 3 home games. They didn't concede against Atalanta, didn't concede against Lecce. The only under was against AC Milan, the team I just spoke about previously, and AC Milan and just have been playing good in general. But Inter Milan were the best home team in the league last season, with the second best defense, only conceding 11 goals in 19 games, and they just kept a clean sheet in the Champions League away from home to Manchester City. So I don't see why they can not keep a clean sheet against Belgrade. I understand why they will put this prop up, because they might let their guard down against them. But because they didn't get any points, or they didn't score any goals, so they're still at a 0-point goal difference, they need as much goal difference as they can, just so they can be moved up in the rankings when it comes to the top 8 spots in the Champions League. And Inter Milan are just a much better team. Good defense. They play a 3-back, which is technically a 5-back, because they have fullbacks and Dumfries and DeMarco, who are defenders, who come back excuse me, on defense. So they have a good defense, and they just have Inter Milan also play possession, so Red Star Belgrade aren't even going to have that many chances, in my opinion, to even be able to attack. So I like this prop. I like Jan Sommer to go lower than 0.5 goals allowed. The last player prop that I like is Erling Haaland to go higher than 2 shots on target, playing away from home for Manchester City, going up against Slovan. He feasts against small teams. When it comes to him playing smaller teams, that's where he does his best. He's had 2+ shots on target in 3 out of 5 games. He had a hat-trick against Ipswich, hat-trick against West Ham. He scored 2 against Brentford, and those teams are much better than Slovan, so there's no reason why he can't do it against them. Slovan just lost away from home to Celtic 5-1, in which Celtic took 16 shots, and Celtic are the much better team who can take much more shots and score much more goals, and Haaland is going to be a very big contributing factor to that. And 2.0 shots on target is where his normal line is at, so I also think you're getting good value there. And when it comes to the projected lineup, he'll get good passes from the 2 wingers, Doku and Savinho, who could create a lot of space for Haaland on that wing. And they also have Foden at camp, who's also an underrated passer. And even in the midfield, they have Kovacic. Even overlapping, they have Gavardio. So he has plenty of players that can pass him the ball, and it's a great matchup. He averaged 2.54 shots on target per 90 in the Champions League, and I just really like this prop as well. I like Erling Haaland to go higher than 2 shots on target. I want to give a quick shout out to my partner, Underdog Fantasy. You can use code Maikito in the description. They'll match your first deposit up to $100, and they also have a lot of like tokens, boost tokens, where you can use them, and it makes your payout even larger. They have free props that they give out as well, often discounts and stuff like that. So if you want to use that, link in the description. It's code Maikito. I also have the YouTube membership for those that are interested. I talked about it early in the video when I did a giveaway for them. It's for those people that want to get the content out before anybody else, to try to avoid potential bumps and plays getting taken away. And also a great way to support the channel. I really appreciate if you did that. And then I also have my other codes like PrizePicks, my Fliff, and my Cashapp if you want to use those. And again, I really appreciate anybody who supports me in any way. I have a couple money lines that I do like, so I'll get into those as well. And the first one is a Stuttgart money line against Sparta. If you want to take a single play, because this play is more you can add on to a 2-leg or 3-leg parlay, I do like their -1.5 as well. I just want to take the safer play, which you're also getting good value for as well here. They're a much better team with a great attack. The only main player that they lost was Gurasi. While he was good, they still replaced him with Demirovic, which is good. They have Undav still, they have Milot, they have Luling, they have a good attack. They lost their first game, while Sparta won their first game, like I mentioned before, but they played Salzburg, so it's not like they were a good team compared to Stuttgart. Stuttgart's a much better team, and when Sparta actually played a decent team last season, for example, when they played Liverpool, and I believe the Europa League, they lost 11-2 on aggregate. They conceded 11 goals in those 2 games. So if Liverpool can do it, Stuttgart can too. Stuttgart, in my opinion, have as equal potent of an attack as well as just like Liverpool, at least or maybe a little, maybe not as good, but they still have a great attack in my opinion. And the key for Stuttgart is going to be their defense because they've been leaking a lot of goals this season. But either way, I still like this prop. Stuttgart have scored 8 goals in 2 games at home, and they've played like 6 or 7 games so far, and only 2 have been at home. So they haven't had many games there. So now they have an opportunity to do that there, and they're gonna want to win after they lost their first one. They beat Dortmund 5-1, so if they can beat Dortmund at home, they can definitely beat Sparta at home. They won 13 out of 17 games in the league last season, scoring 50 goals and conceding 15. So they conceded less than a goal a game, and they were scoring great goals, scoring over 2 goals a game. So I think you're getting good value here. I like the Stuttgart money line going up against Sparta. My next prop is both teams to score in the Leverkusen versus AC Milan game. Both teams have scored in every game this season. They've both been able to score, I should say. AC Milan have scored against Liverpool, Inter Milan, and Lazio, all good defenses, while Leverkusen has been able to score against Bayern, Leipzig, and Feyenoord, all good defenses as well. And this prop is really more for AC Milan because I feel fairly confident. At least even the odds say really confident that Leverkusen score, in which I agree because that's really, like I said, they have a great attack. It's just whether AC Milan score, and I think they will. I think they've been picking up the pace this season. They've actually been impressing this season. They've been able to score from many different people, and like I mentioned before, Leverkusen is good in the attack but not in defense, allowing 3 goals to Wolfsburg, 3 to Wolfsburg, 3 to Leipzig, and they allowed 2 goals to Mönchengladbach. And both teams to score has gone over in 5 out of 6 games for Leverkusen and 5 out of 7 games for AC Milan, including all 3 away games for Milan. And I think it's a good attack on both sides, and I expect at least this game for both of them to score. So like both teams to score in the Leverkusen AC Milan game. And then my last prop that I like is over 1.5 first half goals for the Barcelona and Young Boys game. This actually gone over and then out of the 9 Barca games so far, this prop has gone over in 7 games, including in the last away game when they played in the Champions League to Monaco. And when Young Boys played their Champions League game against Aston Villa, when they lost 3-0, this prop went over in that game as well, with Villa scoring 2. And Barca will obviously be hungry after the Champions League loss to Monaco. And their last game, they just lost 4-2 away from home to Osasuna. So I feel like they're going to want to have something to prove this game. And I like, sure, you could take AC Milan, Barcelona to score 2 goals in the first half, but it's just safer to take just total goals just because you never know. Barca, they could always allow a Young Boys goal. I can totally see that happening as well, but it's just safer in my opinion. Just take total goals rather than just the Barca goals. And Young Boys last season when they played in the Champions League conceded 13 goals in 6 games and 7-3 away from home. And Barca are good on counters. They're good at taking set pieces. They're good on the wings with Raphinha and Yamal. They send a lot of through balls, especially with players like Pedri that are going to be there. They have Koundé overlapping. They just have many ways to score, and I also think you're getting good value here for the first half in the Barcelona and Young Boys game to go higher than 1.5 goals. Thank you everybody for watching. Quickly going over last video's picks. It wasn't a good day overall. We had 6 props, including the one added one. Fornals didn't start, so without counting him, we had 3 that missed, and that was Politano. He scored, and that was the only shot he took. Iñaki had to play higher than 2.5, took 2 in the first half, didn't shoot not even once in the second, which was unfortunate. And the Villa corners, they absolutely got destroyed 10-0. So I guess that's just a bad read on my part, so I apologize for that. But Roma did win, and Griezmann ended with 2, so he pushed. So had 3 missed out of 5. So not that good of a day. I expect better from myself, and I like these props in the Champions League game, so hopefully we can do better in tomorrow's slate. I might try to add more plays, but I do have to work tomorrow, so I hope you guys understand. I might not be replying as much in the Discord. Yes, for those that don't know, I have a free Discord you can join where people talk about plays, their own slips, talk during the game, stuff like that, even other sports. So if you want to join, link is in the description as well. It's completely free, but like I said, I might not talk as much tomorrow because I will be at work. So again, I hope you guys understand. But then that, hopefully we can have a good day tomorrow, and we can just do better than last video. So hope everybody has a good day, a good night, and we can cash out tomorrow.